how are you tonight, Guy?
Oh, we started already?
Why not?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, hi, folks. It's Tim and Guy, commercial break. Hope you're well. It's a Wednesday night. You know, last night, it's interesting, Tim, we talked about, was it a must-win for the Mets? And you asked me how many they have to win. I said they have to go 10-3. So by definition, it's not a must. But now they got to go, right? I mean,
they've got to go 10-2.
They got to go 10-2. You can do that math. So,
yeah.
It becomes, with each passing loss, which will probably happen tonight with the Grominator on the hill, it becomes more and more difficult. But I thought something that was really interesting today, you were just talking about the fact that you were driving on Route 104 out there in the Tony Hamptons. And you came across something. You want to share it with the audience?
Well, there was a turtle crossing the road, and I picked it up at about 70 yards and said, "This is about to be roadza, and I need to grab that." And also, I may just, in fact, have that pet that my kids have always wanted. So, now what I found also as I pulled over, there was a lady coming in the other direction who saw it as well. And she saw me scoop it up, and she chased me down to tell me, you can't take it off of its natural path.
Well, she's right.
And that
she's 100% right.
Well, all right. So now I'm a bad guy. Meanwhile, I was saving it from
how do you
road
jump
pizza.
From her being right to you being a bad guy? It's the quantum leap you just made. You're not a bad guy. You're just somewhat misguided. You could have watched the turtle or tortoise or terrapin across the street.
First, it's not a terrapin.
I
believe terrapins are north of 200 pounds, possibly prehistoric, and I think they swim underneath the sea. Is that right?
Wasn't there a lousy Grateful Dead album, Terrapin Station?
By the way, it is one of their best, and it's called Terrapin Station. And the first song on the first side is Estimated Profit, which is a fantastic song. But the entire second side is Terrapin Station, which if you'd ever seen them live, is often where they'll go into drums in space, which would probably absolutely destroy you to boredom. But for guys like me that are huge heads, the Terrapin Station is one of their best. It was actually a cutout. So back in the day, remember albums, vinyl, when they weren't selling too well, they'd cut the corner of them and they'd put them on discount. So you could buy Terrapin Station as a discount. So the long story short is I brought the turtle home, thought the pet of my kids' dreams, and my wife basically accused me of trying to inflict poison or disease upon my children because everybody
she's right as well.
knows
so both women that you encountered tonight were right. The first woman who said allow the tortoise, terrapin, or turtle to cross the street was 100% right, because you're messing with natural selection and Darwinism. And maybe that turtle was going home to her baby turtles and they needed to be fed, number one. Number two,
dude, now you got to do that to me. You brought in the baby turtles.
Turtles are filthy animals and you're bringing them home to your kids and they carry with them disease. And you don't want to bring that home to your children. So your wife was right.
My heart was in the right place. If we think about turtles, we could go into that long thing about the difference between a turtle and a tortoise and a rabbit and a hare and a crocodile and an alligator. But I think we'd probably get lost. I think we should probably somehow talk about the wild kingdom that are markets these days.
So what did you say was on the first song, the first side of that shitty Grateful Dead album? You said it was estimated profit. I know what you're doing here, and it's a great financial term, especially in a world where companies in .com land don't make money necessarily and can trade at lofty valuations. How's that for a lead? So that's a great job by you. So let's talk about estimated profit, because everybody today is talking about this Snowflake IPO, which price. So it priced at
time out real quick. I know we need to get into some real financial meat here, but when I hear Snowflake, did you ever have a nickname like Snowflake? In other words, did anyone ever call you Snowflake? And would that be grounds for throwing a punch? Like, how are you, Snowflake?
Let's put it this way. If somebody did, they're no longer with us to talk about it. Let's just put it that way.
Okay,
Okay.
Lighten up, Francis.
You bring that to me, and then you get on me for answering the question. There's certain things that I don't do well.
Did you ever have any nicknames that you found were not manly enough.
Yes.
For a
forget
guy
about
like
the,
you.
forget about the
Yeah,
the testosterone.
I realize we
nicknames.
can't do that these days.
But I will tell you,
mean,
there was a guy in college that for some reason thought it was funny to call me Guido, and he did it in a group.
dude.
And then hold on, but then after the group dispersed, I sort of whispered in his ear that if he were ever to do that again, you know, they would find him in 4 different states simultaneously. If you follow my drift.
Well, I do. Even though it's hard to totally understand simultaneously as opposed to simultaneously. But I know you've often talked about leverage as well. I love the kind of the quiet, strong type there where you hit him with, "Hey, pal,
right?
Do that again." And you're going to be spread over 4 states.
And see, the dogs are getting upset by it as well.
Yeah. All right.
You gotta stop. Sorry. Anyway, so Snowflake IPO priced, and the price they priced at $120 a share. The IPO. And then I don't want to go too much down this rabbit hole, but that was where the investment bankers, and there were many of them. That's where the supply demand suggested the price should be. Okay, fair enough. Except that the stock traded north of $300 a share.
$319 intraday.
Which is ridiculous. I mean, so you wonder why people get pissed off at Wall Street. That's why, because people are looking at this and saying, "How was I not involved in that?" And the short answer is because you're not involved in it. Because to a certain extent, it's a rigged game.
You're not in the club, and by definition, this isn't our opinion. If the company was giving guidance the week before this thing went public, 3 times less than where it closed today, then there's something wrong, and there's something wrong because either someone is trying to misrepresent the value, or in fact, there was a price kept on it so an insider's group of people could actually have turned some very big profits. And you wonder why certain hedge funds find their way to get extraordinary returns. And then the other side of this is that the boys club, and this isn't an attempt to say that they're involved in anything that is involved with manipulation at all. In fact, my point is that Salesforce, through their venture arm, and Warren Buffett are the 2 high-profile investors that are in this deal, and that's part of what creates this foment, and essentially this FOMO. It just unfortunately to me, this is case in point for where we are with growth at all costs. And back to estimated profit, this stock is trading about, let's see, 250 million in sales last year at a $75 billion market cap. That's about 300 times revenues. Losing a lot of money. So that's people that are going well out of their way to buy a software company. And I get with what's going on, boy, if COVID is highlighted, if work from home is highlighted, if the biggest enterprise stories in the world have highlighted, it's about the cloud, and it's about software, and it's about a recurring revenue stream, and you will be rewarded. But how can you tell me, with the market where it is, with liquidity where it is, with this kind of a move, that this doesn't feel like a top?
It's the entire thing. The optics of it are bad, and it doesn't pass the smell test, which, without getting into great detail, everybody knows.
How much time do we have left right now?
We got to get out of here.
So on the way out, it's interesting you say the smell test, and back to nicknames. So my roommate in college, the Gletz,
Sure.
I love giving people nicknames, and sometimes they weren't fair. And freshman year, I just thought it was fun to kind of tag people with nicknames. It was how we were all kind of bonding. So in fact, I'll.
You better be quick, because we're up against it.
I called him Zach, because, and it wasn't fair, but it was, that your breath smells exactly like your, something.
Nice. I mean, and with friends like you, I mean,
he wasn't happy. Sorry about that, Gletz.
Yeah, and Klutz is watching right now. All right,
he's a huge fan of the show.
We're going to break down week 2 NFL a little bit tomorrow as well there, boys and girls.
Looking forward to it. All right,
See you later.
Later.